everyone. How is everyone today? Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Well, hello, everyone. Ray and I are here together to do a self-limiting beliefs workshop. And then we have two fun surprises at the end as well that we decided today.
Yes.
Yes. And so everyone should also follow Ray, Good Day with Ray, if you want to see her lives as well. She does a bunch of awesome things too.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to give everybody a second to join in before we get started? Or do
For
you
sure.
want to go
Yeah. We'll wait for a couple more minutes. And
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I recognize some names in here. Is this high enough? I can tell.
I think so. Looks high enough.
Awesome.
While we're waiting for everybody, does anybody have any self-limiting beliefs that they're currently working through? We would love to hear and read some of them in the chat, and maybe some of them we'll cover as well. I'll share one of mine if you want to share one of yours, Ray.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, let me go ahead. Yeah, you first.
Okay, so mine is that I have to struggle to make money. Like I have to always be stressed out and anxious and working 24/7.
Nice. Yeah. Well, not nice, but yeah, that's a good one. Good belief. This one's gonna be kind of like I don't know. I'm almost nervous to say it, but it comes up a lot, and it's one that I try to ignore the most. And it's that I'm not pretty enough to be on the internet. Yeah.
I have that one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
at least we're self-aware.
Yeah. But like I said, that's the one I try to push away the most, because it's like I tell myself all the time, you don't have to look this way, you don't have to look this way, but it doesn't matter. It comes up so often. I'm going
to be very transparent. Okay. Vulnerability time. I had that thought come up last night. Like, I was like, You know what? I feel like I have done so much. Oh, Ray disappeared. Oh, there you are. Okay. So I had that come up last night, and I was scrolling through people's TikToks, and I was like, I love all my followers, and I'm so blessed and so thankful. But I was like, I wonder if like I have like my appearance is not enough to have that many followers. And that was just my ego and like self-limiting beliefs coming up. Absolutely not true. But we have those things just like come on. Right?
Yeah.
And so like I feel you on that. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know we have a lot of good stuff to talk about today. And I feel like that's actually when I wrote down. I just didn't think that we would be sharing our personal ones for some reason. I was like, whoops. Oh, yep. Okay. Well, we'll get into that one real quick. But I'm glad we're talking about it, because almost like just saying it makes me sad. It's not something that I would want anybody in our chat to believe, and when you think about it that way, and especially like being coaches and being mentors, it's like you really, sometimes I try to ask myself things or talk to myself as if I'm one of my clients and one of my friends. And honestly, we just don't talk to ourselves the same way that we would talk to our clients or our friends at times. So, yeah.
And I know we didn't plan on sharing ours, but
I know.
kind of wanted to do that as well. So, look, my hair matches your cup. So I wanted to share ours too, because like we'll be going through it too. Mm-hmm. Like we self-limiting beliefs, just like everybody else, that we are working through, growing through.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe, do we want to leave that open to the chat? Does anybody else want to share what their self-limiting beliefs are real quick before? Well, I do want to get into like the definition of it, because I think it's really interesting. And then I do want us to start tapping the screen and telling some secrets here at some point.
And that's because it shows other people like you're not alone. Like other people experience this.
Right. I have a definition here that says self-limiting beliefs are the beliefs we have that hold us back from unlocking our true potential. I have that one. And then there's another aspect of it is that these self-limiting beliefs are kind of within us because we truly believe these things we tell ourselves are protecting us from future pain. So I wouldn't say that I'm always so scared that someone's going to call me ugly on the internet, because I'll say that's not a fear. But my fear is putting in a lot of work and not getting the same traction as someone that might be prettier than me. So it's not even so much of a fear. I have fear of rejection in relationships, but on the internet, it's fine. But I'm more afraid of putting a lot of work in and then not being able to get to a point that someone prettier could like double or triple things. And I'm just like, that's the pain that I'm having about it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm just looking at some of the comments.
Oh, okay. So the definition that I came up with pulled together was they are our beliefs and mind limitations that we adopt from family, friends, societies, teachers, life experiences. And I have found that a lot of those things that we are ingrained with are other people's projections of unresolved trauma. So it's things that they have, lived with all their life, and they are kind of just like automatically reverberating it back to us. And I've had this chat before where like babies don't come in with self-limiting beliefs. And I found that when we say my self-limiting beliefs are not my fault, right? Because they're not. A lot of those are placed upon us. Is it our responsibility to heal and grow through them? Yes, but we don't come in with those. It is a lot of environmental, and some of it's generational trauma that's like encoded inside of us, right? But in my personal opinion, it's a lot of things that we learn around us from people that are close to us or we see as leaders.
Yeah, for sure. And for anybody that's wondering what this is about, we're talking about self-limiting beliefs, and these are beliefs that we have. That's literally what we were just defining, was kind of where we get self-limiting beliefs from. And self-limiting beliefs, at the core of them, they are things that are holding us back from unlocking our true power or on our potential in any kind of vocation or hobby or relationship or just different aspects of life. We always have I don't even want to call it background noise. Because one of our topics today was how to identify self-limiting beliefs. And to be quite honest, for me, it's actually pretty hard at times to realize I have a self-limiting belief, because sometimes we already accept the belief as true. So the problem when I'm already saying, oh, I'm not pretty enough to do this, or I don't have a certification. I saw somebody saying something like I have literally like 20 things right here on what we believe to be, but I do want to open the floor in just a second on what y'all are thinking. I have seen a few in the chat, but we accept it as truth. It's like, okay, well, if I'm not certified in this, that means I can't teach it. Or if I don't have a degree in this, that means I don't have a voice. Like, my experience doesn't matter in this area. It's actually only my degree can tell what I can speak on. Or I haven't been doing this long enough, or I'm too young, I'm too old. And the problem with that is those are just affirming statements. They are, I am this, I am that. So it's actually kind of hard to identify what's true and what's not true if we don't question them, because we've already believed them to be true.
I think it's great. Do you want to open up the floor because I wanted to say something about identifying and something you can do for that specifically to figure out like what is a self-limiting belief. But I do want to read some of everyone's comments.
Yeah, guys. So
this tea is hot.
Oh, hello, Anna. So yeah, if y'all wouldn't mind, just share some of y'all's self-limiting beliefs before we get into, like, I know I have some written down. I know Brittany, that she probably has a few written down as well. Mm-hmm. So we would love to hear them.
May said, in order to be successful, I have to work really hard. That is one of my personal self-limiting beliefs that I am working through as well.
Yeah. I like that one. I think I have that one too.
I think that has a lot to do with like capitalism as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Nicole said, not feeling knowledgeable enough to post on an open platform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely one of mine when I first started making content. I don't know if it was one of yours, Ray, too. Like, oh, there's already so many people that are already like so far in into these topics,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, like what do I have to add to the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And then that what I have to say isn't important. Man, yeah, I almost feel like that's almost what me and Brittany were alluding to just now is there are so many people making the same kind of videos. What do I have to add to this? But people do resonate with you. And I guess we'll get into a little bit later how to get over it. Yeah, so we'll just stay to reading them and then we'll get through them. I don't have the...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, you go.
Whiskey and Mill, I don't have the ability to find my power. That's a big one. Like self-empowerment, confidence, self-esteem, like that's a big one for a lot of people. That Catherine said that I'm not good enough to have it all.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I share that one.
Gabby said, not feeling knowledgeable enough to speak during meetings at work or in public. Oh, yeah. Public speaking is a huge fear for people. And a lot of times that public speaking is because you don't want to feel like a fool, or you feel like you don't know enough, or you're going to stutter over your words. You don't have the best like communication skills. And we'll give everybody a second because I know it takes a second for the comments to come in.
Yeah. And I'm writing some of these down. The one, I don't even know why I'm writing them. I have a computer here that I can type faster on. Just my brain doesn't. I usually don't have my computer right here. So I want to write down some of these ones that I don't have yet.
That anything I have is subpar compared to others.
Yeah.
Big one.
Definitely feel that one.
Comparison. Yeah. And I have one that I will share that I found is a common one when working with people is I don't know how to. Whatever.
Oh, that's good.
Like, whatever it is, whether it's making content or, start a business or taking on like a new class or going to school, like whatever it is, I don't know how to blank.
Right. Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Not being enough for my kids. That's a big one. I have a son, and that's one that I have that I have continuously worked on. Am I a good enough mom? Mm-hmm. I've got, I don't deserve to be happy if others around me are not.
Interesting. That's yours, Brittany? That's one of yours?
That is one that I have worked through. And then I'm okay with now, but that was a big one because I, being an empath and a light worker, I draw a lot of people in that like are also working on self, and sometimes they haven't worked through as much. This is not a judgment thing because I'm still working through stuff too.
Yeah.
But if other people are going through stuff, like I would bring my happiness if I'm in a really good place, like down, because I would feel guilty of being happy about something. Like, especially if somebody was talking about something negative that they were going through, I would not talk about what I'm happy about because I feel like it was overshadowing somebody else's grief or sadness.
Yeah, I can feel that one. I have this one. I don't have a big enough following to make an impact. And so I'm not sure how many of y'all are posting on TikTok or on Instagram or anything like that, but I know I had that feeling for a long time, and if I'm honest, like sometimes I still feel that way. And I literally hear from my spirit team all the time, don't look at the numbers. Just don't even look at them. You just keep sharing. You just keep posting. You just keep going. And so they literally tell me that every day, like every single day.
That's one that I, in my guides, have said, like, imagine that you had all of your followers in a stadium listening to you. Doesn't matter how many. If you have 100 or 100,000, right? Like, imagine, like, we don't see them like as people sometimes, as like numbers, but you have to imagine like they're out there in an audience like wanting to hear what you have to say, and then it gets a little intimidating. You're like, well, there's a lot of people.
Do we want to read this from Lucy? I'm trying to understand.
Sure. Being clairvoyant, sometimes I don't know what to do with what I see, so I go quiet. I think it's like not sharing their gifts of like what they're able to or what they can see for others because they're worried about being wrong or being looked at like kooky.
Oh yeah.
I have been thinking about starting to post on here, just not sure if anyone would want to watch. That holds us back from making content sometimes, for sure.
Oh man, how many people actually want to post here on TikTok? This is like I wasn't thinking we were going to talk about that, and we don't have to stay on it long. But I'm actually kind of curious. How many of y'all have actually thought about posting more on TikTok and you haven't been? Because me and Brittany might be a little biased, but TikTok has been good. It's been the best platform for me so far.
TikTok has given me a huge amount of growth in that area because I was petrified of speaking in front of people and worried that I was going to look dumb or silly or who wanted to hear what I had to say, and worried about my appearance and my voice, and like TikTok made me face all that.
Yeah.
And work through it.
And I just would like to offer to y'all, those are y'all that are scared to post on TikTok, this is the friendliest this is the friendliest app of posting, because you can post. First of all, it's the best app for creators because we get to be on here as much as we want, and people aren't like, why are they on here again? Or why are they posting again? It's very friendly to post however much you want, especially in the beginning. It's part of it. It's part of the game. So, and it's on Instagram, people are just like, why did she post 3 times in a day? You know,
it's a different vibe over there.
It's so creative. You get to be as creative as you want, aside from like Facebook and Instagram. So I just want to say that to anybody that has a belief that they shouldn't be posting on TikTok. You'll probably get the nicest people at first too. It's very rare that in my early stages, people were mean. And actually it's rare that people are mean in general to me on TikTok, but it has happened on like a couple of videos, especially the ones that get a little bit bigger. Those are the scary ones, but not to scare you, but it's just, I'm just preparing. It's actually the most friendliest too in a lot of ways. So not to, maybe if we talk more about TikTok, they'll push the video. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. That is a joke. I love everybody in here. Y'all are doing great. Okay,
I do post, but it's a roller coaster of emotions to get here. Glad to see y'all out here. Like, I still, like, it's a roller coaster for me too. Like, and I've been doing it for a while, and I don't know if it's the same for Ray, but like, some days, like, we have it, and then other days, like, it's like, but sometimes you just gotta show up and just do it anyway.
Yeah. And actually, I think that's a good thing to figure out. Like, so one way I think I've exposed my self-limiting beliefs, and Brittany may have another technique, but I have an exercise for us to do at some point. But this one is more like when I get the impulse that I want to do something. This could be around a few things, okay? So you may not want to create, but maybe you want to start a new workout routine, or start spending more time with your partner. Like, you can literally put this practice into anything, is making a commitment. So I make a commitment to post every day on my podcast, and I make a commitment to come on live almost every day on TikTok. And when I make those like 30-day or 2-week commitments, when I get on when I turn the microphone on, or when I turn on the app, or like post my video or go to record, that's when the self-limiting beliefs, if you're aware, they start to pop up. They're like, this video is not going to do great. Just don't even do it. Or no one really cares about this podcast this morning. Like, come on, just stop. And those deep down, if you do the work, you can tell like, oh, I just don't think of what I have to say is good enough, or I just don't feel qualified to talk about this, or I don't think my content is, as good as so-and-so's. That's a good one too. Comparison is just the killer of all creativity, and like helping us move forward, comparing our past to others. So I personally use commitment as a tool to, because they expose them. When I hear that, I'm like, okay, well, you don't matter today because I said I was going to do this for 7 days, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of what is coming up is our ego. And I'll talk about that for a moment too. That's what's like fueling those thoughts, right? And so a lot of times I find in spirituality, people are like, oh, you have to kill your ego and like bash your ego and all this stuff. And I'm like, the ego is there to keep you safe. Like it loves you so much that it's saying like, hey, let's stay in comfortability where we know who we are and like stay in this like rhythm and cycle of life, right? But there's no growth in comfortability. And so I find that when people are really struggling with self-limiting beliefs, we all are, right? But when people are struggling with those, sometimes like imagine that you're in a car and your ego is in the driver's seat, right? And it's directing you everywhere, but you're not going anywhere. And so we have to ask our ego like, hey, thank you, we appreciate you because you're keeping us safe, but I need you to move to the passenger seat. Like you can alert me when there's like stop signs and red lights, right? But ultimately I have the decision and direction where we go, and that's going to get you the forward movement to who you want to be, because growth doesn't happen if you just do the same things over and over and over again and never take those leaps of faith.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that your practice? That was your practice on like how to like remove the self-limiting belief?
I have joining at the right time. I have one that is.
That's my friend Rachel.
Oh, hey Rachel. I have one that ask yourself, what if this isn't true? I think that's a great, like, if you have something that makes you feel constricted when you feel it and like icky, ask yourself, well, what if that wasn't the case? And like that's a great way to identify if it's a self-limiting belief, because then there's a whole nother reality that you can look at in lens. So like
Yeah.
what? Go ahead.
Oh, and I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier of how they can, that sometimes it's hard to see them, because if we always just accept the self-limiting belief as true, it's like, I am not enough. I don't have the time to do that. What are all the ones I wrote down here? Let's just really get into it. So this is a long list. I don't know enough. I don't have a certification. I don't have a big enough following. Oh, and this was one that I thought was sneaky. It says, that's not something I really want. And then I put in parentheses, you actually stopped wanting it because you've given up because of either past experiences or you don't think you'll ever get it. So you convince yourself you don't even want it anymore, which I thought that one, I was like, that was a little sneaky. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not a good speaker. I think that's a good one. People will talk bad about me or make fun of me. I don't have the time, or that will take too long. That will take too long is also like, it's true. Like some things we want to do, it could take 4 years to get a degree to do it. It's true. And time will pass is also true. I have to struggle to make money. Okay. And then all those are ones that we've already kind of gone over. So kind of what you were saying, Brittany, I think the best way I've learned to start to see the self-limiting beliefs is to just start to question myself more. How many people that are in this chat, would you agree? Would you say that you do question your thoughts often, or would you say you're working on questioning your thoughts often? Because I think that's the meat of what we're trying to get at, is like, we have to start backing away from these truths and asking, is it true?
I think that's great, because something that like significantly helped me on my journey of like self-limiting beliefs is to realize I'm not my thoughts. Like you are literally not your thoughts. They're just things that are up here in your brain or rummaging around. Okay. And like how we know this is whenever you go into like meditation and you have like a thought come up and you go like, oh, how is this belief serving me? Is this getting me towards the life that I want, or is it not? I can choose to attach myself to this or not. That means that you are the observer, that you can even do that in the first place. And so when you have those things come in, you can choose, do I align with that or do I not? And more often, like Ray was saying, that you question and you observe, it's like a muscle you're building that gets stronger and stronger of like, no, that's not for me. I'm going to interject that with a thought that's more beneficial.
Yeah. One that's been hard for me lately is like, you can't be spiritual and make money. I don't know when I'm going to toss that one out, guys. We'll have to see. But also what the universe keeps rebutting is they keep telling me, well, Ray, if you don't charge for some things, you'll just spend all your time and not get compensated, and then you'll get discouraged, and then you won't, provide things that can actually help people. And I'm like, no, I could do this all day and not get burnt out. I just always have this argument with the universe, but I provide a lot of free things. That's another thing I tell myself a lot. Okay, let's look at some of these comments. Let's check about, I went too far down.
I'm working on realizing what is an intrusive thought and what is a knowing.
Nice.
I do not trust what I think. I trust what I feel. I love that, because that's what I was saying with, if something makes you feel constricted, that's not in alignment with you and your soul. If something makes you feel expansive, that's your compass of like, this is good for us.
Yeah.
Mine is, I'm not humble enough when I experience stuff. If you could explain that one a little bit more, Gabby. I want to learn to use my gift in any way. I like all the encouragement that we have going on in the chat as well. That is so sweet. Oh, expensive. That's what you meant to say. Okay. Mine is, I'm not humble enough when I like expensive stuff. Also not concerned with the monetization of it. And yeah, that's a big one, I think, for a lot of people that are like content creators and like spirituality, or like have services that they offer with people. Like, we are utilizing our time and energy just like anybody else with any position in the world. Yeah. And like, we can't pour from an empty cup, and sometimes that cup needs to be filled with financial stability.
Yeah, you can't make things if you can't eat. There's like a lot of weird things around that, for sure. So I do have an exercise for us, and then like we said, me and Brittany have like a little surprise towards the end. But the exercise is, let's see what I wrote down here. Oh, so I want y'all to think about something you've been wanting to either post or start, or how you want to lead, or a conversation you want to have, just whatever has been coming up strongest for you during this chat about, I just feel like while we've been talking, maybe you've just been running into this thing like, yeah, I've been wanting to do this, but I think this belief is holding me back, and I think this belief is holding me back, and whatever's been coming up for you strongest as we've been talking, I want you to write down the 5 reasons why you can't or aren't doing that thing right now. And I'm just actually a little nosy, and I want to know what the thing is that you're not doing, but feel free to, post whatever you want in here. But I'm just curious what's been coming up for y'all, and then I want y'all to, if y'all don't have paper right now, then don't worry about writing it, but say it out loud or put it in the chat why you're not doing those things right now, or that thing.
I can share one.
Okay, let's hear it.
I would say not trusting in myself enough. Not trusting in the foundations that I've built.
That's a good one. Write that down.
Ink by Maria said fear. That's a big one. We can even get into very specific fear things. Money, baby daddy drama, self-doubt, perfectionism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, I'm a 3 out of 4 on those. 3 out of 4. Perfectionism, I have to write that one down. I feel like I do that a lot too.
Yep. I used to spend like hours editing like one little advertisement, like advert thing, because I'd be like, it has to look perfect or nobody's gonna like it. Like, nobody cares with the font. It don't match.
That's right.
Perfectly. Time, my kids, my own thoughts about myself, fear, and not knowing where to start. That's a big one.
Not knowing where to start. I love that one.
And all these are great. Just some of them were repeated.
Well, and when I say, I love that one, I don't have it on my list yet. So thank you for mentioning that one, basically.
Let's see. Self-doubt, self-discipline. Self-discipline's a big one. My new mantra is impatience is insecurity. Mm.
We asked for it. If Rachel's in here, she's gonna drop some truth. This girl, this woman, she just is she's so good with her words. She's a poet. If y'all don't follow her, she does some bomb poetry, and she is just a wordsmith. It's so great.
Fear of failure. Mm-hmm.
So as I do like that I talked about fear of failure, I think the other day on my podcast, and the reason I really want to stop on that one for a second is I want you to imagine how you're going to fail. You're welcome, Rachel. And I want you to it's true. I want you to imagine how you think you're going to fail, because a lot of people don't like to do that. And I'm a big believer, and I lean into that fear, because that fear might be telling me in a way that I could prepare better. It could actually be exposing something I need to look into a little bit more. Like my friend, it was something so simple, but the other day when I got this scrape on my leg, I was just joking and said, I'm going to get a huge infection. And she was like, don't say that. Don't speak that into the universe. She might be in here. But I was like, well, because I said that and I knew it was a possibility, I've been cleaning this wound like twice a day. I don't mean to be gross on anybody else, but I'm just gonna be honest. I've been cleaning it twice a day. I've been reading up on how to take care of your wounds, because it's not just like a little cut. And so I actually think that acknowledging that I could get this infected if I don't take care of it has helped me to not let it get infected. Again, don't mean to be gross, but this is something your fear actually might be telling you something that you could either just do a little preparing for. I'm not saying it doesn't mean don't take the next steps, but it could be pointing you in a direction of going to look up an article, or like, maybe I could read up about how to make an email list, or, how to just post a TikTok that has a good hook in it. Just something. Does that make sense? Like, it could just be pointing you in a direction of some helpful information.
I love that. I tell people, like, if you've got self-limiting beliefs, like, they're your friends, actually, because they're the thing that's going to push you forward. If you didn't have self-limiting beliefs, then you would just be the same all the time. And then you work through those self-limiting beliefs, and then you evolve and you grow, and then you have a whole new set of self-limiting beliefs. But, like, that's what keeps you moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, like, that's your shadow self, like, helping you through life.
Yeah.
I do want to, go ahead.
Oh, so Nicole, you said you're saying the wrong things by accident. Tell you to somebody that's had a podcast for like a year and a half, you can apologize. You can apologize. I would also offer, you're not big enough to get enmeshed in cancel culture just yet. So if you say something by accident, you can apologize and just be honest that said, one thing that I just don't think people do enough in our society is saying, I was ignorant. I didn't know this before I said it. I'm really sorry. Instead of doing what a lot of people like to do is double down. Like, just say, I'm going to read more about this. I'm sorry for my ignorance. I'm sorry for anybody I hurt. And it goes a long way. And some people are forgiving and some people will never forgive it. But I just don't think a lot of us aren't big enough to get canceled at this point. So I think you can have grace for yourself, and we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting. I know. Oh gosh.
I had when you were talking about like the canceling. So when I first started practicing Reiki, I had a lot of people, not on TikTok but other platforms, be like, "Oh, you are doing something that you can't do that because you were not trained in, where Reiki originated from, or from that specific like lineage of healers." And like, I've spoken to my guides and a lot of other like healers in this plane of like, healing's for everyone, and not saying that you shouldn't follow certain like ritual things if it is a cultural thing, but like, healing is for everyone. Mm-hmm. And that's my opinion, but
yeah. I have a lot of the same ones too. See a lot of that sometimes. Okay, so let's see if there's any more. Are great. Just loving this chat. Yeah, y'all are saying a lot of good things in the chat. Okay. All right. So what were we going to end with before, or was that what we were going to do? And then we're going to do the next part.
I wanted to like give a couple more tips on like overriding your self-limiting beliefs. If you have any that you want to share, I had like a couple that I had jotted down.
Go for it. I probably will have things to say about what you say.
Okay. Just do that. The first one is working with your subconscious. So most of these self-limiting beliefs are like very deeply ingrained way back there, and a lot of them are like in childhood. And so when we are in our waking life here as adults, conscious brain, like when we try and tackle them that way, it's a lot harder to uproot them because they're so far back in the subconscious. And so things that I have found that are very beneficial are affirmations and repetition. Like your subconscious, you can override these things, but you have to do it over and over and over again until it becomes a regular way of life. And so something that I have found that bypasses a lot of that is to listen to affirmations while you are sleeping, because that is when your subconscious is the most open to suggestion. And if you have self-limiting beliefs that are from childhood, right, our affirmations are even better. Because as children, we're not told like, I am this and I am that, right? We're said, you are this and you are that. And those limitations are put on us. And so you are affirmations at bedtime. Wonderful. Or listening to Reiki, like Reiki practitioners, because it's literally healing you at like an energetic level as well as like a mind level with affirmations. So if you alternate with those, like it significantly changes your life like it did for me. And Ray does similar things as well.
Yeah, I listen to Reiki every night, every single night. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with those. I don't even know if I have anything to add. I think the one thing that's kind of beneficial about the affirmations is kind of, I feel like it's similar to what I was saying about the commitment as well. When you say an affirmation over and over and over again, that's when you start to hear the rebuttals. So a lot of people think when you say affirmations, I think I used to think this too, so I'm not making fun of anyone, but they think because you say an affirmation, you're actually speaking that affirmation in the universe. Kind of, but mostly you're saying the affirmation so you can hear your negative thoughts creep up from the sewage of your brain to tell you why you cannot do those things. Yeah.
I love that. That was very powerful. The next one I have was mirror work. So mirror work is super cringy. Like, I'm going to be real honest with you, like talking to yourself and giving your affirmations in the mirror, like it's something you have to get used to. Something I found that bypasses that makes it a lot easier is when you are looking at yourself in the mirror, it's a way to directly talk to your subconscious. Like you're literally energetically looking at your subconscious when you do this, and you talk to your younger selves. Not you in the here and now, but you envision that your inner child, inner teenager, you yesterday, and you're talking to them because that's actually who you're talking about or talking to uproot those things. And so sometimes when you help somebody else, it's easier than helping yourself. And so you can envision, like, I'm talking to 5-year-old me and telling them why they're a goddess and a queen and they're powerful, or, you know, a divine creator, and you got this, right? Like, hyping them up heals you in the present now, because that's who really needs the help.
See that? Mm-hmm. That's great advice, Rachel, by the way. That was good. I liked what she said. What do you do to accept your gift for what it is? And Rachel said, start using it. I mean, I'm a big believer. I'm a big believer in like a lot of people. And so that's another self-limiting belief. I can't use this gift because I haven't been using it. So I'm a big believer too. When people are like, well, how to get the confidence? I said, unfortunately, you don't just wake up confident in your gift. You have to start using it, and then you start building your confidence.
Speaking of confidence, are we still doing confidence in the next 2 weeks? Is that what we're working on? Okay.
Yeah.
So Ray and I have a Facebook group. It's called Journey to Awakening with Brittany Ray. I wanted to mention that before we forget.
Right. We typically do.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook group, and there's a link in both of our bios, and it's a spiritual community, and we love all our people, and we pour in tons of resources for everyone. We go live in there. We let people know before we go live here. For the last 2 weeks, we've been focusing on releasing self-limiting beliefs, and that's our culmination here. And then for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be working on building your self-confidence and your self-esteem, and so we'll be pouring resources in. So we would love to have you in the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. Have you watched in care too? I love where that's going. Yeah, and Lucy, I can see how, if that is Lucy, I can see how that's scary, for sure. If you want your guides to stop telling you about deaths and you want to like see something else, I do believe, like for me, I'm just going to be honest, I used to see or hear people's loved ones that passed away. I used to hear my loved ones that passed away all the time. I actually think it's interesting when psychics are like, I can't hear my own loved ones. I'm like, these people are having a party in my house every night and I have to be like, get out. You know what I'm saying? But actually, I can read people's loved ones, and I choose not to. Reason being, they wake me up in the middle of the night. So, I mean, I'm on the internet saying this in front of me. I don't have any reason to lie to y'all. It's why when people ask me to read, like, oh, my daughter passed, and y'all see that on live. If y'all ever see me pass it up, I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that. There's someone else on this live that probably specializes in mediumship. I would recommend them, because I've outsourced and I have decided which gifts I want to focus on more than the other ones. And the universe hasn't punished me for that. They haven't said, oh, Ray, we need you to talk to these people. They've told me they'll find other people to talk to their people that passed away if they really need that. And it's so important to do. Like somebody asked, anyways, go on too many tangents. I have turned off that channel in my brain, or I can turn it back on whenever I want. I just choose not to. Because they literally wake me up in the middle of the night and I feel like they're staring at me at 1 a.m. And I'm like, sir, you don't understand what time is, but I still gotta go to bed. It's not fun. And they're not scary. They just wake me up and I like to sleep. It's weird. I know it's crazy, but it happens.
It's not.
So that's my recommendation. Sorry. I don't get to talk about that annoyance enough in my life. When people are like, can you read this person? I'm like, I can, but I won't.
I had, we'll just say I had like galactic beings reaching out to me when I first started on my journey, and I wasn't like strong enough in my boundaries yet. And I was like, y'all cannot be just trying to talk to me all the time. Like, stop. And then like, I kind of went down more of like earth type of energy, and then they popped back in recently, and I was like, where have y'all been? And they're like, you told us not to come in. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
You told them bye.
That's right. Don't do that.
That's right. I've had the same experience. Very same. So it's okay, y'all. If y'all have come across anybody else's content that's like, oh, you have to do this thing, you can ask your spirit guides to give you something else to deal with if that's just what you want to start out with. Some things are just kind of like intense. Mm-hmm. Okay, Brittany, are you gonna go first or me? Because
either one. We can do either.
I was thinking maybe I will shuffle the cards while you do the Reiki, because I meant to pre-pull them, but I can either pre-pull them or do them during the live. So
okay. Well, we will do that. So we are going to be doing some Reiki for everyone to help us release these self-limiting beliefs on an energetic level. And so we're going to be doing a meditation, a prayer. A prayer to ask the 4 elements to come in and help our physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental bodies to do this type of releasing. We're also going to work with some crystals and Archangel Michael and a spirit animal. And we're going to be focusing on our root chakra and our third eye chakra. So I'm going to play some music, and then we are going to get started. So we've got 10 minutes. All right, so I'm going to be doing some different mudras with my hands as well, and so I'll tell everybody what those are as we go along here. So this mudra, oops, let me get this. Okay, this is life force energy, the mudra, and so I'm going to hold a couple different ones as we go along here. So in shamanism, this is fire, this is air, space. This is earth, and this is water. And so So this is the invocation of the 4 directions prayer. So I'm going to have everybody close your eyes, or you can keep them open if you would like. And we are going to take a big breath in through our nose. And then breathe out through your mouth. And then breathe in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And one more time, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. All right. We surround ourselves with white light of divine protection and golden light of divine love and wisdom, and we call in all of our spiritual guides, known and unknown. We call in the direction south, element fire, ruler of our spiritual bodies and controller of our chi, and our powers of imagination and intuition. We call in the direction west, element water, ruler of our emotional bodies, giving us powers to feel, to adapt, direction of the setting sun, endings, death, and the angel of death. We call in the direction north, element earth, ruler of our physical bodies and 5 senses, health, prosperity, all the plants, animals, blossoms, and pets. We call in the direction east, element air, ruler of our mental bodies, giving us powers of discernment, appreciation of art and beauty, and the power of words and communication. Direction of the rising sun, new beginnings every day. And to all the spirits, thank you so much for all that you've given us, and please continue to guide us in our thoughts, our words, and our deeds for our jewel in the sky, planet Earth. Thank you. If you agree, say ho. Ho. Okay, so we're going to do some cleansing and clearing before we get in everyone's chakras. So this is incense here. And if you want to accept the Reiki healing, you can say, I accept.
I accept.
Okay. And then this is Florida water. I'm going to spray over everyone, which is a good cleanser, clear, and protector. So we are going to start in everybody's root chakra. That is where we hold a lot of our fears in there. And then we're going to be connecting also to our Earth Star chakra. So your Earth Star chakra is located 12 inches below your feet, and it roots you into the heart of Mother Gaia, and it helps give us that extra groundedness and feelings of safety and security. And so we're going to be calling Archangel Michael in. So Archangel Michael is great for helping burn away like self-limiting beliefs and our fears and our doubts and our worries. And then I'll read the bit at the bottom here. It says, trusting heaven, you are safe. Angels, stand close, surrender your concerns, and allow a miracle to occur. So what we're going to be doing is invoking Archangel Michael while I do this. And this is Moonkite Jasper and Black Kyanite. This is for our Earth Star, and this is for our root chakra. And so I'm going to be cutting the etheric cords of these self-limiting beliefs. And so what you can say is the affirmation is, I release all fears, doubts, and worries. I release all fears, doubts, and worries. I release all fears, doubts, and worries. Okay, we're going to come in with some energy from Archangel Michael here. And we are brushing all of these out of your auric field now. And we are pulling, so if you feel any tugging, I'm pulling the last bits of these energetic strings that are running through everyone's root chakra.
I literally felt it there.
Oh, good.
I really did. I was like, oh, I feel it near like my sacral or my root. And then you said root chakra. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like,
sacral chakra too. Like we hold a lot of like fears in there as well, especially like in relation to other people and our emotions. Oh, good. I'm glad everybody's feeling it and coming out. Okay, and then we are going to move on to our third eye chakra. So our third eye chakra is the houser of our imagination. It's also how we perceive self and our reality. And so if you have self-limiting beliefs, those are a way that you're viewing self and outside external. And so we're going to change out the lens there. My tailbone started tingling. Oh, great. That's definitely root chakra. Okay. So for our third eye chakra, we're going to be working with the crocodile spirit. Everybody can see here, cutie. So crocodiles in shamanism are representative. You see how they have their eyes on top of the water. That's their perception and like perceiving into other dimensions and frequencies. So that can be representative of you, like utilizing your spiritual and psychic gifts to envision a new reality for self, or like how to become your higher self, right? Beyond those limitations that we're putting on ourselves. And so while I am working with this amethyst, amethyst is great for boosting psychic and spiritual gifts. And it's also a calming stone as well. So we're invoking the crocodile spirit to come in and snap those realities that are no longer serving us. Okay. So if you want to accept that, you can say, I accept.
I accept.
So the affirmation that we can say to encapsulate everything into our third eye chakra is, I invite new perceptions of self. I invite in new perceptions of self. I invite in new perceptions of self. Okay, and to close everything up here, I'm going to use my selenite wands. And with Archangel Michael, we are going to inscribe an angel number into your energy body. So today we're working with 444, which is protection from your spirit guides and from the universe and for source. This is even protection from self, from those self-limiting beliefs, right? Or from things that are outside in our outer reality that influence us. So if you would like to accept the inscribing and the protection from Archangel Michael and our crocodile spirits, you can say, I accept.
Oh, I accept.
And I give thanks to all of our elemental friends and Archangel Michael and the crocodile spirit, and for everyone's higher self for leading them here today. Okay.
I felt great.
Good.
Awesome. How'd that feel for y'all?
You feel nice and relaxed?
Yeah, totally.
When you
Perfect
have
place to start readings.
Yes. when you have these self-limiting beliefs come up, like Archangel Michael and the crocodile spirit are here to support you. So like if you start getting in a funky mood, you can ask both of them to come in and help snip those cords.
Love
Yes.
that.
Good. Seems like everybody's feeling better. Okay.
I know, and it's like, and I'm in this like, yeah, where are we? What were we?
Sometimes we get a little floaty when we're doing Reiki. I felt like I was on a swing. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. You're like floating on a cloud.
Awesome. So for the reading for today, we have the King of Wands, and I'm going to read y'all like directly from the tarot book what it says, which I thought was really interesting. It says, the King of Wands reminds us that our lives are designed to bring us eventually to a place of self-ownership. An opportunity for self-empowerment is presenting itself to you now. Recognize that through your attitude and the way you express yourself to others, you hold the power over your own life experiences. You are the determining factor in this situation, and circumstances will proceed in the directions that you steer them. Indecision or doubt is not appropriate responses when clarity and confidence are critical. As you take a bigger role, it will begin to feel more comfortable. Seize the opportunity to influence events because everything is waiting for you.
That was a powerful stuff.
Isn't that a good card for what we were just talking about?
I love that.
So
not an appropriate response.
Very. I feel like with the King of Wands is, that card is just offering to us that what we're talking about today is a form of, those are pretty. It is an invitation of self-ownership, and it's an invitation to reveal where we are not taking the ownership to move forward in our lives. And, I always say in a big way, it's like, until we are aware, we're ignorant, and that's not to be mean at all. It's more to like, you don't know what you don't know. So, but when we do know, that's when the responsibility steps in. It's like, oh, I knew this. And that's actually where we start to lose integrity with ourselves a lot of times too. When we know we weren't going to do something, or we weren't going to go in a certain direction, and then we kept doing it. So we lose trust with ourselves, which I feel like is a lot what we're talking about today as well. Some of us don't trust ourselves to move forward. I feel like this is like more of a channel message. This is the Reiki talking. Where, some of us don't trust ourselves to move forward. And that's not only just like trust ourselves to put ourselves out there, but trust ourselves to sustain something, trust ourselves to have knowledge about something. There's a deep sense of not trusting is coming up with that card. But also, once we become more aware, and which is what we were offering today, ways to become more aware about these self-limiting beliefs, that's when you can start steering the direction of your life. Like, quite literally, these self-limiting beliefs are actually in the driver's seat currently. I don't say that to scare you. It's just kind of how it goes. We are directed by what we've been told and what we've been, the habits we've picked up that are good and bad, So this is a way to start to take more of the steering wheel into your own hands. We also got the sacral chakra in reverse, which to me is a symbol of self-care. Sacral chakra to me is a lot about nurturing. Not only that, it's about creating. So the fact that it's in reverse, it makes me feel like a lot of what is going to nurture you is actually what you want to create, if that makes sense. It's like the more you nurture yourself, the more you'll feel safe. That's what I mean. The more you nurture yourself, the more you'll feel safe to create. And that's actually another part of these self-limiting beliefs. A lot of us don't even feel safe to be seen. Some of us don't want to be seen. Because if we feel like it's not safe, or that people are going to think this about us or say this about us, or I know me, I got fears that the government will come after me, random weird things. If you believe in past lives, I was definitely one of the people that got burned, I tell you what. So I have a very deep fear of the government. It's why I haven't spoken up a lot about my mental health journey, and how I went from almost being diagnosed bipolar to being, I would say, mentally stable at this point, which I never thought I would say those words. I am very much on the uptick after debilitating depression for 14 years. But I don't talk about that, because I'm really afraid the government will be like, you're not allowed to talk about how you fixed your depression, because, I don't know. I have fears. Anyways, not about me. But I think that could also be an element of why we are scared. We're afraid people will come after us in different ways, of like, if we start to speak our truth. And the sacral chakra in reverse, this might be hard for somebody to hear today, but you may not be being completely honest with yourself. And I'm not saying that to scold you. I'm saying that because I truly feel like you don't feel safe to be honest with yourself. Because if you learn the truth about who you are and what you want to do, then that self-awareness is going to start pushing you on this path that we were talking about earlier. Our self-limiting beliefs do not, they are there to keep us from unlocking our potential. It's not the other way around. They aren't keeping us at our greatest potential. They are keeping us away from our greatest potential. So if we don't tell ourselves the truth, then we don't have to acknowledge the truth that we actually want to be more. And if not even want, we are capable. We're a bit capable of more. And some of us may not want to know that for all the reasons. I don't have time to be more. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to be more. That's a lot of work. Or if I realize I'm more, then what do I do with that information? You know, so with sacral chakra in reverse, it's really calling us to self-care and digging in a little bit deeper to not be scared to be honest with yourself. And me and Brittany, people that have been in our community can probably, I hope that they feel this way. I really try to provide a safe space for you to tell your truth. And sometimes I react and sometimes I don't. I just like to be a listening ear and say, wow, you know, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, I try to just provide, and I think Brittany does too, a space to just be heard, because we might be the first people you say, oh my gosh, I want to do this, because you're afraid of what comes next. I don't know the next steps. Like, you don't have to, you know, we're here just to listen to you. And the Work Your Light deck, this is an interesting one. I wasn't really expecting this, but I do think it goes with sacral chakra. It says inner temple. And actually, they call the sacral chakra the seat of the soul. And so inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. But it talks about committing to a daily devotional practice, which I find to be essential to self-care. And I think some of us that are like, well, I don't know where to start, Ray, and Brittany. I don't know all my self-limiting beliefs or when to start, words. And if anybody's scared about what if I trip up on my words, if I go on videos, this is what I do all the time. I just go blah, 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 words, and then I keep moving. It's not that big of a deal. And so, but it took a long time for me to realize that people are okay with you not knowing everything. So if you're not sure how to move forward and you want to get more clarity around your self-limiting beliefs, it seems like the Work Your Light deck is offering to pick up a meditation practice or a journaling practice. I'm curious if it actually says certain ones. Here it is. You can be called to develop a regular meditation, journaling, or chanting practice. Just a daily practice where you fill up your well and spend time with your soul. So whatever that means to you, I used to do yoga every day. But now I do 3 pages long form, called the morning pages every day. They should only take 30 minutes. It takes me an hour because I ate coffee and I'm like, oh, what an interesting thought. You're just supposed to write. You're not supposed to think about what you're writing, but I do that. So anyways, it's really helped. So just to reiterate, King of Wands wants us to really take the reins and the steering wheel back in our lives. And I think truly how to do that is just to become step 1, become more aware of the self-limiting beliefs. Then we can worry about how to fix it after we become aware of it. It doesn't work the other way. And then let's nurture ourselves so we can really get to our truth and not be scared of what our heart's going to tell us. I think some of us are actually genuinely scared to know our truth. And then, oh, that's so funny you say that about the spiritual retreat, because I have something to talk to Brittany about soon. A spiritual practice. So how do we feel about that message? What are we thinking?
I think that we should give Ray a round of applause because that was like, I was like a spiritual sermon. Like, I feel so empowered and just majestic, and like I can conquer all my self-limiting beliefs. Like, thank you, Ray.
I know. Well, yeah, I do that a lot. I'm like, I just drop a bunch of knowledge, and I was like, so what are we thinking right now?
That was great.
Let me read these comments.
I feel jazzed after that.
I did grow up in the Pentecostal church, so.
I can feel a little bit. I was like, I'm in like spiritual sermon right now.
Oh man. The heavens will rain down.
It was great. I loved every minute of it. It was beautiful. But it was so inspiring. Thank you.
And I saw somebody, oh, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, Rachel actually, she went to that school, if she doesn't mind me saying, we went to the same Christian church together. So yeah, she knows what we've been through. But also, a download came to me today, kind of what Brittany was saying. I listen to ASMR Reiki every night before bed. And the universe told me that ever since I started doing that every night, it changes your genetic code. And I don't mean that in like, some people say that as like changing your genetic code, and that's fine. I'm so supportive of that. I believe in DNA upgrades, but it literally changes the cells of your DNA when you can go to bed every night with peace. Actually, the more peace you feel in your life, the less fight or flight hormones you are getting, and it literally changes your DNA. So they told me today, randomly, it's like, you think that listening to ASMR, Reiki, all these videos for this and for that, bare roots of it is they calm you down to calm down your nervous system, and then that's what changes your DNA. Like that's science. Science and spirituality will merge one day, but we're not caught up. But so if y'all are considering, I also take ASMR Reiki naps around 12 o'clock every day. I missed mine today, but it's fine. I take regular ASMR Reiki breaks,
I do that as well. Anytime I have like downtime, I'm trying to watch Reiki ASMR. And so Abraham Hicks, everybody like knows for Abraham Hicks, I think. And if not, you should totally check her out. She said something one day that always stuck with me, and it's vibrationally like where you leave something is where you will pick it back up. And so I think that goes right in line with like what you're saying. If I fall asleep to healing and being at peace and like serene and like resetting my chakras, right, when I wake up, that's how I'm going to start my day. And then you compact that like over and over and over again, and now all of a sudden you're living like a very serene and peaceful life.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm writing down this.
I was about to say I want to watch that.
Art of Life. I'm like a documentary. If y'all have any docu-series and or documentaries, I'm like your girl. Last night I was like, dang it, I feel like I've watched everything good on documentaries already. But I know that can't be true. There has to be some stones I haven't turned. But I really love true life and stuff like that. Where do I listen to Reiki? YouTube is a great place. Obviously, Brittany has her own channel where she's been putting out a lot of intense brain-busting Reikis. It's great.
Thank you.
If y'all are missing her lives during the week, I feel sorry for you because I've been laughing, Brittany, because when I'm supposed to go live and do my readings, I see you on and I'm like, oh, they're going to have to wait. Like, I'm supposed to go on at this time every day. I'm like, it's a pause for me and I'm going to watch this and then I'll go do my readings. That's the vibe.
We need to coordinate so we're not overlapping for people. So we need.
It is what it is. I don't care.
Sometimes though.
But because sometimes I like to do your Reiki and then I'm like, okay, I'll be in the perfect spot.
Now you get like jazzed for the readings. And I would to say when you're listening to Reiki, like not all Reiki practitioners are for you. They all emanate different frequency, different messaging, different energy. Like I don't listen to all Reiki practitioners. And sometimes like I'll listen to some and then go months without listening to them and pick them back up. It's because our frequency is always up and down. Right? Like, so you gotta find the person or people that vibe with your energy and that you can feel it.
Yeah. And I wanna hope, I'm not sure on this, but a lot of Reiki practitioners might have ads in the beginning that they have put on. Just for those of you that are afraid of like going to sleep and then you hear a car commercial 5 minutes in, I don't think a lot of Reiki practitioners put ads in their Reiki videos. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. You just got to find, sometimes you got to watch 9 or 10 different people and then be like, okay, well, these are mine that I like really resonate with. Right.
Absolutely, Maria, for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I like to believe that every Reiki practice, when it says for this or for that, I like to believe it is for that. But like I said earlier, the universe was like, even if you have doubts that it actually healed this and healed that, it's making you a calmer person. And when we're calmer, we have space in our decision making, and we can make more decisions with clarity when our nervous system is calmer, which is like the whole point I think that's what they were trying to tell me. If you don't believe in any of the other parts of the Reiki, it makes you a calmer person. So
that's what I tell people when I'm in my lives. Like, even if you don't believe in any of the stuff I'm saying, if you're just here to vibe for the ASMR and like chill, great.
Yeah, it works.
Like, you don't have to do that. I've also started listening to a lot of light language because I'm doing light language, but like, to me, Reiki heals like so much of your physical body and your chakra system. And then light language comes in and does like a lot of like past life, like Reiki does too, but it goes beyond like etheric, celestial, galactic type of healing. So if you wanted to mix it up, light language practitioners are great as well. Reiki session helped me with postpartum depression. Oh, that's beautiful. It can help with so many things. So many things.
Well, awesome. This was great, Brittany. I mean, after the Reiki and after the readings, it's like, I wonder if I should go on my channel and start. I mean, I may not right now, I don't know, but I'm in the vibe, man. I could start doing readings. I might. All right. I'm in the mood.
I do want to answer this really quick with Lucy. After meditating, I vibrate a lot. How can I stop that? You definitely need to ground. Like, anytime that you are doing any type of like astral, like energy type of work, like, you really need to drink a lot of water, go put your bare feet on the earth, do some jumping jacks, like anything to get you back in your body, because it can make 3D life, like the things that you need to do, a little more difficult if you're vibrating that high. Like, that's great for sometimes, but it's not good for all the time. Yes. Jumping jacks. It works great. But yeah. Oh, Facebook community for anybody that's popping in now. So Ray and I have a Facebook community. We would love to have you in there. We do a lot of fun things. We post tons of resources. We go live in there, and people can practice their gifts on one another. So there's a link in both of our bios. It's Journey to Awakening with Brittany and Ray. The next 2 weeks, we're going to be focusing on building self-esteem and confidence. And then we'll do another live like this one, a workshop together. And then there was something else, but I can't remember. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and this will be up. We'll post a replay of this in the group. So if you weren't here for the whole thing, it'll be in there.
Will you put it on your YouTube as well?
Yeah, if you're okay with that, I'll put it on the YouTube.
I'm okay with that.
That's okay, fine. Yeah, I'll put it on my YouTube as well. And there's a link in my bio for that, but it'll also be in the group.
When is the next live? Great question. I'd have to check the calendar.
Oh yeah, we have it down, but we do post when we do events in the group. Yeah. And so if you want like a heads up and you want like a reminder, you can sign up for it, and then it'll let you know when we're going live. When are we doing the retreat? I've had several people, Ray, ask me about when you and I are putting together a retreat.
Well, that's funny because I just haven't asked you about it yet, but I've been thinking about it, and yeah, I've definitely been brainstorming ideas. So it's funny that y'all are saying that, because it's been on my mind, but I haven't talked to Brittany about it, because ideas go in and out my brain. Y'all don't. I had to tell Brittany this morning the way my brain works. Let me tell y'all, I get all of my ideas in the morning. It's just how it goes, and at least some of my really good ones. And people are typically sleeping at that point. So then I forget. I was like, oh, I'll tell them later when they're not sleeping, and then I forget later. So I do try to underline things in my journal, and that's been underlined probably for the past 2 weeks. I probably wrote about it in my journal 3 or 4 times at least. But yeah, so we'll talk about it, Brittany. What's been on my brain?
Yes. I've always wanted to.
Because I want to. It's in my head. I'll just tell y'all while you're in the chat, since y'all are asking. In my head, and since you're already here, Brittany, I think of it being, well, actually, we'll wait. I'll talk to you about it.
We'll talk about it, and then we'll talk. Maybe we'll.
Yeah, y'all just get excited. If or when we do it, it's gonna be good.
Yes, like what would you like to see at a retreat? Maybe we'll do that.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how we're matching today as well. We both.
You know, I changed my shirt last minute. I really did. I was wearing black, and then I was like, oh, let me throw on this white crop top. Let's do it.
I think we were matching in like our last like meeting we had too. Like we were wearing the same color.
That's funny.
Thank you, everyone. Michael, I'll say that real quick. Do an Archangel Michael guided meditation. Anytime you're trying to connect with a guide, like do some type of guided meditation. It's not really about the meditation. It's about connecting with your energy. Like,
and all of these meditations, anytime we recommend something to y'all, they're really easy Googles on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And actually, you know, I've been thinking about that a lot in our group of just like telling y'all what videos to watch. Sometimes I do think I might just give y'all something to Google on YouTube, because then you can see what attracts you the most. I was actually just telling somebody this today, like she just questioned herself as being a good coach. And I said, you don't understand this, but like sometimes I've been in a place where no one told me what to Google. I had to know how to Google things on my own, or like the idea of what to Google. And so I told them, like, sometimes, you know, even just that, just knowing where to point people in the right directions makes you a valid like leader and teacher, that we've Googled these things. And part of me as a teacher, I've actually been thinking, I need to tell y'all what to Google. And then you see what comes up on YouTube and you pick the video you feel most drawn to, instead of me just always giving you, oh, here's my favorite. Why don't you type in ASMR Reiki for confidence and then search and kind of flick through and see what resonates with you the most. I'm all about self-empowering you. And I always want y'all to make more decisions and feel, because I believe when you make a decision and it always doesn't come from me, you're empowered to know you make good decisions. They didn't come from me. You picked, you went forward. And honestly, that's always what y'all do. If we even tell y'all a recommendation, you're the one that makes the decision. And so you're the one that needs the pat on the back. So sorry, I don't know why I felt the need to
no, I
say
think
that.
That's great. But I think that's wonderful. I was saying, in my brain, I was like, oh, I can make all these like short form videos saying like, oh, you should like type in this, or like this is how like you find spirit guides, right? Like how do you find your spirit guides?
Yeah, awesome. Okay, yeah, I'm sure we could do this all day. I know I can. Yeah. I do sometimes. I stay on live a lot these days. But yeah, we really enjoyed spending this time with y'all. And I just really enjoy the people that are coming into the community, and I enjoy working with you, Brittany. And I'm just a huge fan of Brittany's Reiki as well. I'm so glad that we connected, and you're doing a great job.
Me too. I love everybody in our group that comes to see us, and you too, Ray. You are a beautiful goddess.
Thank you.
Healer. I love everything you do.
Thank you.
Yes,
me too.
You emanate so much light, and I appreciate you.
Yes, same. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank y'all. And we will see y'all in the group and on our lives during the week. Yeah, I was going to say, we do tend to post when we go live on our TikToks. If you join the Facebook group as well, we try to be good about telling y'all when we're going to do readings and when we're doing Reiki. So just going to let y'all know that too. Yeah, awesome. All right.
All right, bye, everybody. Have a magical day. Bye.